Whoa! When did you get here? When did you get here? What do you mean you've been here the whole time? I just started filming. I swear you weren't here a second ago. What the? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the next of our Transformers reviews. And today we have Beast Alliance Optimus Prime. I'm gonna edit that out. Edit this out. So here he is, and I kind of love him. He's just a little tiny gorilla. He's gonna be displayed right up there with the combiners and Dr. Wu Prime, because he fits them pretty well. After all, that's exactly what he is. He's a tiny version of the original character, so he'll scale well with the combiners. But there's not much to say about him in robot mode. He's small. He's got great detailing for how small he is. Like, look at that face. You can't see it because my camera won't focus properly. Oh wow, that just made it brighter. That's not focused at all. Here we go. There we go. Look at that face. Looks really good. And you can also see all of this molded detail all over him. He does have a gun handle sticking out of his back, but for what he is, it's fine. So this guy is basically just a target master. He's basically just a target master, but I'm fine with that because I love target masters. And this guy does it really well. So, starting off with his packaging, here it is. Right there, you can see Optimus Primal Beast Alliance 6 and up. I agree with that. You can see him being held by Beast Alliance Prime here. You have the art of him that I believe has been on most of Primal's boxes. Transformers logo on the side. On the back you have product images. Very complex, as you can see. On the side here, Beast Battle Masters. Oh no, that's what they're called. Beast Battle Masters. So yeah, he is a Battle Master. Anyway, his face. And then that's pretty much all there is to talk about here. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Authentics, so on and so forth. And now bringing him back over, we will do some comparisons with him. So for a deluxe class, here he is with Legacy Skids. We'll get to this guy in a second, don't worry. Legacy Skids. Voyager. Where is Tarn? I gotta grab Tarn real quick. Come here, you big guy. Here he is with a Voyager. Very small, very small. Back where you were. Here he is. Oh. Here he is with Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. They look pretty cool together. And then, one moment. Here he is with Dr. Wu Prime Commander. That's a pretty good scale, if you ask me. We're gonna put all this back. Alright, everything's back. Now, we will, well, there's no accessories to speak of, so we'll talk about his articulation. The head can do 360, and it can look up slightly if you have it facing forward. In any other articulation, it will not look up, except the back, it kind of does that, but that's not all that useful. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of works, but it's most useful from the front. The shoulders also do a full 360, and they can move down due to transformation. Then you also have outward movement that far, or that far if you have him on all fours, which can be better if you lower the joint a little. And that's it for the arms. For the legs, pretty much the same thing. Outward movement, full splits actually. You can have a tiny little gorilla doing the splits. That's a sleep paralysis, Steven. Yeah. Legs go forward that far. And back that far. Then I guess you can sort of swivel it a little bit. You can have his legs facing inward or facing outward. Pretty posable for what he is, if you ask me. Now, you can either have him in his gorilla pose, or he is packaged standing up, but, I mean, that just looks, that just looks dumb, to be completely honest with you. Now, of course, we'll go into the main gimmick of him, which is, ignore that spin, that was just for fun. We will go into the main gimmick of him, which is the fact that he turns into a gun. So, as you can see there, we're going to untab his waist and make sure that is sitting like that. You're going to bring this piece up and then spin the head around. Now you just flip out the gun barrels from his arm. Pretty easy. You don't need nails for this, which is always good to see. You can just whoop, whoop. Then this part can be kind of annoying. You need to shift the shoulders down some. Then get the arms completely out, like that. Now, when you push them in, they will rotate a little, so you got to rotate them back. Then they will tab into the sides with this little tab slot connection, which this is a surprisingly difficult thing to do for such a small bot. There we go. Then you just bring the legs up and make sure that they sit on these tabs nicely. They don't tab in, they just sit there. And there you have Beast Battlemaster's Optimus Primal in his gun mode. And this is probably, I'd say, the second best looking gun mode out of the Beast Battlemasters. Or maybe even the best, I don't know. It's between this guy and Skullcruncher, or whatever his name is, the crocodile one. Now, I did have the options. I had the options of this guy, Battlemaster's Cheetor, and Battlemaster's Skullcruncher. I don't know if that's his name or not. I'm just going to assume it is. I chose this guy because his robot mode looks the best, and is posable, and he turns into a good-looking gun. Because Cheetor was just off the list, and because he's Battlemaster's Cheetor, and Skullcruncher his robot mode is not the best. Now, he can obviously be held by other figures, so we will bring in Skids, I guess, since he's right next to me, so he's going to be sort of our guinea pig. And there he is, with Skids holding him. Move. Next, obviously, we have to show what he looks like being held by Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. And that looks surprisingly good. Now, I really wish that I had one of the Optimus Primal figures, so that I could show you how he looks holding himself. But I do not have any Optimus Primal figures. Actually, I want to hear your guys' input on this. If you got this far in the video, I want you to tell me in the comments, if I do get an Optimus Primal, should he go on the Prime shelf? Because he is technically Optimus Prime from the future, but he's also kind of a different character, so I want to hear your input on that. But I suppose that is pretty much all there is to say about Beast Battlemaster's Optimus Primal. His head is just there, by the way, so usually you won't see it because you're paying attention to all this, but yeah, his head's just there. But don't let that discourage you. This is a very fun little figure. I got him for $5 at Walmart, so if you see this guy for $5, pick him up, definitely. He's so fun, he's so little, he's so adorable. Because he's, at the end of the day, what I use him for, he's just a tiny little gorilla. Like, I don't put him in gun mode all that often. Just like, look at this. How can you not love that? He's a little tiny gorilla. I kind of wish they didn't have the arms molded in here. I wish they just molded Knuckles in, right there. Have these big beefy parts be his arms. But no, apparently his arms are these skinny little pieces, but I mean, I don't care. I just imagine those are his hands, as they are actually. I just imagine those are his hands and this is the rest of his arm. But yeah, Beast Battlemaster's Primal. He's pretty cool. Now, hello everyone, and welcome back to the next of our Transformers reviews, and today we have Legacy Skids. Now, first impressions, he's dusty. He was dusty because he's a shelf warmer. I can definitely say that. Oh wait, I gotta raise my camera up. There we go, much better. But yeah, he was shell forming, so we might have a little bit of dust on him. But yeah, overall, his robot mode looks great. He's a fun figure to just mess around with. I don't see why this guy did so bad. I mean, his shoulders are his shoulders suck. But all of Legacy has terrible shoulders. Most of Legacy, at least. Like, let's count them off. We got this mold. We got the Tarn mold, soon to be Tarn mold, currently just Tarn. Armada Prime, the base robot, has terrible shoulders. What's another one? What is another one? Armada Megatron's shoulders are horrid. Yeah, I believe there's more, but I'm not going to count all them down. I think Legacy Starscream might be another. But, getting into the figure, his robot mode looks great, nice and G1 accurate. I mean, who even really saw this guy in G1? He was in G1 so little that he does not have a set personality, so I just kind of give him my own personality, which is based off of his G1 appearance, or not exactly his G1 appearance, but based off of his IDW. Like, he's a thinker, he's a theoretician, he just kind of like drifts off a lot and daydreams as he does in G1, I think. Maybe he's not in G1 a lot. He's in 2 scenes, I think. Maybe 3. But yeah, and then he also, I like to imagine him that he's kind of like the one guy from Kuroko's Basketball that just kind of like disappears into the background and nobody remembers he's there. And he's also really good at playing supporting roles, basically. But yeah, that's Skids, I suppose. But looking at his head, tell me that's not a really nice head sculpt. Like, come on. He does have that on the back of his head, like a face plate, or a back of the head plate. But it's a good-looking head sculpt, honestly. His arms look not very good, and they look kind of skinny, especially with these little... His chest, though, looks great, because it's a grill of a car. His legs also look pretty good. They do have some gaps in there, but they're necessary, as far as I know. Actually, they might not be necessary. I don't know. And then, really clean robot mode. Why do his wings tend to fold down for no reason, but... Really clean robot mode. The only real robot mode kibble is actually supposed to be there, or is this backpack, this really nice clean backpack. Like, for instance, this is technically kibble, but I don't care, because it makes him look cooler. Now, going into comparisons, here he is with Beast Battle Bastards. No, I'm kidding. For Deluxe class, here he is with Counterpunch. Power of the Prime / Siege Counterpunch, or Earthrise, rather. Straighten out your legs. I gotta grab everything again. Here he is with Legacy Tarn for Voyager class. So yeah, there he is with Voyager. Legacy Iguanus for core class scale. Since when can you ignore the terrible sounds in the background? Iguanus. Interesting as always. Oh my gosh, will you... Fine. Then, I'll put him next to the combiner shelf. Why not? There he is with the combiner shelf. I need to straighten out these cards. I forgot to show off his packaging. Here it is. You can see the instructions in the back there, but just ignore that. But yeah, a good look at his car mode, Autobot Skids, Transformers Legacy, Certified Deluxe class in multiple languages. Here you have a good image of Skids, and the words Skids in Cybertronian. You can't see that. The word Skids in Cybertronian. Yeah, very nice looking. On the back, product images featuring a very nice looking render of Skids. Then all of this, Autobot Skids, more than meets the eye, various things here. Free QR code if you want to scan it. That says scan in Cybertronian, so do it. Then I believe those are meant to be like specs on this character, but I do not care. On the side, here we have Optimus Prime Hot Rod. I believe that is Prime RC, Blaster, Prime Bulkhead, Transformers Authentic, Transformers Legacy, and get that out of there. Bringing in Skids once more. Let's mention his accessories. He comes with... Oh no, I dropped the cool one. Get back here. He comes with this gun, which is meant to peg into his forearm. Because I guess this is a thing that Skids did in G1. I don't know. I don't know anything about this character. Like I said, I made up my own character for him. But yeah, apparently that's supposed to be his weapon. If I can fix his shoulders. Like this gun also is supposed to peg in, but it doesn't sit flush at all. So I think that looks ugly. So I have him hold it, but that also doesn't look very good. So, Oh yeah, I didn't even mention this gun exists. Now you can also take this. It's a very difficult gun to get off. I don't know if that's just because of how new this is, or if it's just a flaw with the figure. Bring him back in. Now, they do tell you about this little combination here, which I kind of like. You take the gun and you plug it into the bottom. Or you take the dual blasters, plug them into there. This looks like something out of Transformers Angry Birds. This looks like it would be a thing. You plug that in and that makes the gun look a bit better. There we go. But yeah, that's a decent looking gun. I kind of prefer just the arm cannons. If I can pop this off. Like I said, these guns are difficult to take apart. Come on. There we go. Going back to normal things. This is my favorite accessory of his. It's an axe. He can hold the axe like so. And that looks cool. He's got an axe now. Or you can, and I love this feature, you can take this axe, you can make him hold it like this, and not only does it become a gun, but it becomes a good looking gun. Like that actually looks like a gun and not just an axe that he's holding. Where are my blast effects? I swear I had them. Where on earth did I put them? What? Where did they go? Okay, I can't find them, but all of these guns are blast effect compatible. One moment, I'm gonna go find them. Found them. Okay, so let's see here. Which one fits the best? We'll go with this one. So as you can see, this is blast effect compatible, and it looks rather nice with a blast effect in. As is the trash gun. Blast effect. And the best one, if I can get this correct. One moment, and there we go. Now I'll connect these to his arm. And there we go. Now we can, now we can also put this in and have him doing a cool little shooting action pose. There we go. Pew pew, pew pew. And a little bit more pew pew. That looks cool. This is a good figure, honestly. I don't get why he's shelf warming so bad. And just to clear things up, that's shelf warmer, not shelf warmer. He's not a shelf warmer. But yeah, you can also take all of these and store them on his back, which I'm not going to bother with. You can also combine them to make a really big, dumb-looking gun. It's probably a part of Evo Fusion, if I had to guess. Yeah. This is from a time when it wasn't called Evo Fusion yet, but it does have a name now. But yeah, you can Evo Fuse his guns. That just looks kind of stupid. Now we'll split all this apart real quick, and then we will go into his transformation. Okay. Now, here is Skids once more. He was off camera for a bit. Now, to transform him, the first thing that you're going to do is bring his arms. I never went over his articulation. Let's do that. So, for the head, it's a very nice ball joint. He can look down. He can look up. He can spin his head. He can sort of tilt his head side to side, which is always nice. Definitely a step up from the last two figures. And by last two, I mean Iguanus and Primal. Now, for the arms, this is where it gets terrible. You got this joint here that does not tab in. So anytime you're trying to move the shoulder, he'll just do that. Granted, this is what his shoulders looked like in G1. They looked really dumb and stupid like this. And this looks better. But yeah, if you want G1 accuracy, he can do G1 accuracy. Only problem is that gets in the way of articulation a lot. He's got very stiff and very weird shoulder joints that sort of rotate at an angle. If you have this straight and rotate it, it's facing outward ever so slightly. And see, I'm trying to move the shoulder, but yeah, it rotates here. It's a weird shoulder, but it works, except for this. If it weren't for that, the shoulder would work just fine, even though it looks weird. Bicep swivel. Elbow bend. 90 degrees. Then wrist swivels, which is always good to see. Now, for the waist, full 360. The backpack gets in the way ever so slightly, but you can just move it out of the way. The hips, forward that far and back that far, max. Well, not really. You could probably find ways around it. Oh, I just cut my thumb, I think. Thigh swivel, very good looking thigh swivel. Out, not quite full, but enough. His legs are a bit loose on my copy, which is unfortunate, but I don't mind. Very nice and stiff 90-degree knee bend. He's got ankle tilts, which could look like this if you're mistransforming him. Keep in mind that these need to be on the bottoms of his feet. But yeah, ankle tilts. That's pretty much all there is for articulation, except the wings. The wings flap, if you need the wings to flap. What did I just drop? Is that Primal? I think I dropped Primal. Now, for his transformation, you're just going to rotate the arms out to the side, then bring them down like that, and this part could be a bit difficult because of how weirdly the arms rotate. And then swivel his arms back to the front-facing position. Flatten out the door wings and bring all of this up. There you go. Now you might want to try to, well no, just leave the hood how it is. It's best if it isn't tabbed in yet. You're going to bring these forward, and then leave them like that for now. Next you're going to tab the legs together. Tab the legs together, I say. Bring the shin guards down. Actually, not yet. First, you're going to bend his hips, then bring that whole section up. Then you will want to first, come on, there we go. Now bring these down, and they look like they should tab in, but don't worry, they don't. So they'll just sit in a little nook there. And you bend the knees forward, because they can do that in this configuration. Try to tab in the roof as best you can. It will not say flush on my copy. That might just be a me thing. Then you tab in the doors. And there you have a very nice little car. There we go. The windshield is not tabbed in. That usually tabs in. I just goofed it up. 1 second. I also forgot to mention that you need to flip these wheels out from under his feet. And there you have a nice, compact little car. Now, I do not know what this car is. I know it has a name, and I don't know what that is. I also know that sometimes he's a minivan. He's not a minivan, just so you know, but very nice car. He's got a sunroof. That's not something, he might be a minivan, I cannot tell, but yeah, sunroof. That's not something you see every day on a Transformer. And nice little racing stripe. everything tabs in pretty well, I'd say, except for the roof, which has a gap there that I cannot get closed. I think the color matching might be a bit off, but I don't mind, it's barely noticeable. Big Autobot symbol right there on the hood that I believe is painted on, or something along those lines, where it will not be removed unless you scratch it off. On the bottom, pretty clean, you can see his head, but if you don't like seeing his head, actually never mind, you can't rotate it. His head is there. Hi. It doesn't matter. If you cover that up, boom, perfectly clean bottom of the car. He should roll pretty well, but mine, the front wheels are stiff, so they don't like the back ones just they'll continue rolling. This ones just don't like to stay moving, so this guy doesn't like freely roll. I have to sort of guide him for him to roll, you know. But that's probably just my copy and how long he's been in the box exposed to dust. Because this guy was at, like, the back of a rack of toys. What is my mother sending me? Nothing. Okay. Ignore that. But yes, a very nice, compact, clean car. I like this car mode so much. He's just such a he's a nice little car. He's a good background Autobot. My final thoughts, he's a great background character. I know that he does have his own Spotlight comic, but I don't know. I'd like to just, but yeah. Ignore everything I just said because none of it made sense. He's a good background character. As I mentioned, my character for him is that he actually does just fade into the background and nobody notices him. He can just, like, effectively disappear whenever he needs to. But yeah, that has been the review of Legacy Skids. So, make sure you do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, and subscribe. I especially appreciate it when you comment, as it shows me you cared enough to comment on the video. And as always, enjoy the pictures.